FM, बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत.
This is Bharat FM.
Namaste everyone to YogaLeher GeetaMehek on Bharat FM. We do this session every week on Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7 to 8 we do yoga asana and meditation, and then 8 to 9 we will be doing the Bhagavad Gita. So today we started the root chakra, and we're going to continue with the chakra series. So we will continue with the root chakra this time. I don't want to keep advancing unless you get a little deeper understanding of each chakra. So, or chakra, right? Root chakra or Muldhara Chakra. So the Muladhara Chakra, this resides in your energetic body. So Pranamaya Kosha. So it is not in your physical body, so you can't see it. But if you can feel your prana, the energy, when you say, my energy feels low, a doctor will say, everything is normal. All your blood test is normal. Your heart is pumping fine. Your blood pressure is fine. Your heart rate is fine. What are you talking about? So at that time, the yogic sciences, the Ayurvedic sciences, the Vedic sciences had much deeper wisdom, where they said, okay, there is actually a second layer, the Pranamaya Kosh. And in this Pranamaya Kosh are the chakras, the multiple nadis, and then these nadis come together. So it's like channels, and then they're coming together and intersecting at certain points. So the root chakra, which sits in the base of the spine, so all the way in the lower part where your tailbone is, and it is not like, it's like almost like a 3D dimensional thing. So it's not 2D dimensional. It's not just front to back. And when we say chakra, it's not a wheel, how your car wheel is. It's actually circling as an energetic body. What is this doing? It is helping you interact with the world. So on one hand, it is grounding you. On the other hand, it is helping you interact with the world. So how do you know when your root chakra, that energetic center, is open, or when do you know that it is blocked? So you know it's open if you are feeling settled in your body. If you feel the word is, you feel stable and you feel calm. Emotionally, you feel stable and calm. Physically, if you have strong bones, and if your elimination system, your digestive system, your colons are kind of getting clean, if you're not constipated, if you don't have diarrhea, then in the physical body that your lowest chakra, which is in the physical body, relates to coccygeal plexus, but basically it is clean. And if you're feeling calm and stable, on the spiritual level, you're feeling more grounded. So I'm settled. So then you know that your chakra is more balanced, it's open. In terms of interpersonal, each chakra is interacting, this energy is going out towards other people, and we are interacting with others through these energetic bodies. So in that energy, the chakras are the antennas that you are interacting with other human beings. And so if you have a good open, balanced root chakra, the Muladhara Chakra, you're going to have a lot of nurturing relationships. So much more stable and grounded relationships. When you find yourself in more of a clingy situation, when you tend to cling to your kids, when you tend to cling to your spouse, when you tend to cling to your friends, or in other words, we can call too much attachment, then you know that your root chakra, you're not feeling stable in yourself, and you're throwing that energy where you need somebody else to make you stable. So that is why whenever you feel that you are feeling unstable within yourself, or even your interactions, you're too needy, your expectations are that the other person is saying, you are having too much expectation out of me, then you know that something, you're not sitting with yourself enough. So then you need to start working with your root chakra. Other times when you know it gets affected is if you travel. So if you're on a flight, multiple travels, you tend to get ungrounded, you tend to get unstable. So it's also a time after, you go from here to India to US, or traveling a lot, then always do root chakra grounded asana practice and pranayam practice after you land. So that is a good time to do. Other times when it can get blocked is when you have some upsetting events in your life. So right now with the pandemic, people are getting, root chakra is getting quite unstable. It is getting very unbalanced. People are uncomfortable. Fear is a common symptom of root chakra. So when root chakra is blocked, fear sets in. The other time, a lot of people are losing jobs. So when you lose job, again, your foundation, is getting affected. So it is the chakra, which is the foundational chakra. Then suppose you're going through a bad end of a relationship or a divorce, then your first thing is going to happen, your root chakra, your foundation will get affected. So those are the times when you want to practice root chakra. Then why do you want to practice? Because you can't, it's like you are searching for answers. One of the sayings for root chakra is you're searching for answers in the branches when the problem is in the root. So you want to do so many things in life, but to do them, the first chakra needs to be very stable. The second chakra, Swadhisthana chakra, is a creative center. So for your power of creation to be optimal, because you want to achieve different things in life, your root chakra first has to be perfectly balanced. So people can dream, they have flighty dreams, flighty ideas, they want to do this. Intellectually, they're very powerful, but their root chakra is not grounded. So then they can think of ideas, but manifestation becomes a problem, because today these ideas, tomorrow that ideas. And they're not understanding what is happening, but they're not grounded. Other time, root chakra also gets ungrounded when people get too much into meditation, spiritual stuff, not spending time on where their finances is going to come from, where how are they going to get grounded in this material plane. So when people are like, I'm going to travel to India and Himalaya for my spiritual thing, and now I'm going to travel here and there. So they are working on the upper chakras, but the lower chakras are not getting grounded. So then they are not able to find stability, this is the chakra for stability. So roti, kapda, makan, it is stability. So you need to have stability before you can keep working on the chakra. So if you are little getting too flighty, it's time to come down and also ground. So it's always a good practice to balance the root chakra. So today we will talk about lifestyle choices too, but let's start with some asana. When you're doing asana, be mindful of that you are not doing asana for flexibility. You're not doing asana just for building strength or for balance. You are doing asanas, even if you're not thinking of any of this. The reason we say yoga asana is so powerful is because it also regulates your endocrine system, all the hormones. People who do yoga regularly are not going to have thyroid issues and other adrenal issues, because the root chakra actually controls the adrenal gland too, which is where adrenal fatigue, if you have heard of. So working with root chakra helps with that. And then you can also you do these asana also because your internal organs get massaged. So we want to do these asana, keeping in mind that you're not just doing it for exercise reason. And today when you're doing the asana, think of your energetic body. If you're holding your breath too tight, if you're not breathing in and out with each pose, then you're not going to be experiencing the asana in the chakra. So you energetically don't block yourself. Breath is the way to, that's why we do pranayam, right? Prana ayam. So that means your prana expansion happens through breathing. So when you're doing asana, Continue to take breath in and out. So more focus today on your breath in and out. And every time you take breath in, ground, let the energy flow into the root chakra, in through the root chakra into the ground, and then exhale out. So let's today do all the asanas. The asanas I will do are all grounding poses. So you can always have this video and do these asanas. So let's do that first. After the asana, we will do Shuddhi Kriya and then Pranayam and then meditation. So let's come to the top of the mat. I think I'll have to take it a little back maybe. Okay, so let's come to the top of the mat. Now today when we are doing the poses, we are not going to bring the feet too close because that makes us a little ungrounded. We are going to keep the feet a little bit wider apart. So we are going to ground ourselves. So let's ground ourselves. So feel the floor. Lift up your tippy toes, or lift up all the toes. Exit, fan them out, and let's plant them on the floor. Keep your heel also on the floor. Roll your shoulders and open up your chest. Keep your palms facing forward. Let's ground ourselves for 3 breaths in this pose. You can inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Each time you inhale, allow your belly to come forward. Allow your breath to go to your tailbone. And breathe. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through. With your next inhale, let's raise the arms overhead. Interclasp your fingers, show your palms to the ceiling, big stretch. Exhale, bend from your waist, Uttanasana, forward fold. This is our first forward fold, so don't try to push yourself again. You need to continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Each time you breathe in, feel the energy go to the tailbone. Let your head hang loose. With an inhale, let's do a half lift. Flatten the back. Don't lock the knee. Again, these are energies. You want the nadis, nothing to be blocked. So that's why we say never lock the knees. A slight bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees, drop your hips, come on up. Exhale onto the side. Tadasana again. Roll your shoulder, let's come in Tadasana again. Let's do a big inhale again. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Inhale, halfway lift. Don't lock your knees. Keep your slight bend in your knees or a locked bend. It all depends on you. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, Tadasana. And now we will do only one Surya Namaskar. So we'll do one on the left side and one on the right side. And I'll lead you through it with the inhale and exhale. Inhale, big inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, raise your arms overhead, slight back bend. Exhale, forward fold. from your waist. Inhale, happy lift. Exhale, forward fold. Each inhale and exhale, make sure you're allowing the energy to go in and out. Plant your hands next to your feet. Inhale, left foot back. Hold your breath. Right foot back. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Flatten your foot. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, happy lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees, drop your hips straight up. Exhale to heart center. Let's do it one more time. Inhale and exhale to heart center. Inhale, arms overhead, slight back bend. Don't let it make you unstable. Exhale, forward fold. Anytime you're doing a pose where you're getting unstable, that means you are not focusing on root chakra. Inhale, happy lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands. Inhale, right foot back. Hold your breath, left foot back. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Inhale, upward lift. Bend your toes. Exhale, down facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, happy lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to heart center. We will do a tree pose now. But in the tree pose, be mindful again. The idea is grounding and not balance today. So with the grounding, if you are here and you're wobbling, then you're not grounded. Take it down. So wherever you can find complete, absolute stability, that's where you're going to be. So if this is where you're stable, you'll stay here. If you can be stable up here, so the tree has to be grounded. Then you can keep it here. If it needs to be up further up, then you can take it up here. You can use your hand if you want to take it further up. And bring your hands to heart center. Imagine you are this huge tree, 100-year-old tree that is grounded, not a little sapling. Let's bring our foot down, shake your right foot, and then let's plant the left foot. Again, let's do it on the left side. Get your tree to be as stable as possible. Usually, it is not the same on either side. Wherever you find most stability, that's where you're going to stay. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. And with each inhale, let your tummy expand and let the energy go down all the way to your tailbone and through your tailbone into your feet. Bring your right foot down. Let's shake out the left foot. Let's come back to the top of the mat. We're going to do a chair pose, which also, again, try to keep your feet hip distance apart so your chair is more grounded. So let's take a big inhale. Exhale, let's go into chair pose. Find stability there. Continue to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Exhale, let's forward fold. Take a big inhale. Exhale, let's come back into chair pose. Exhale, straighten yourself out. Now we are going to do the warrior series. Inhale, and let's go into the warrior. This is the Virabhadrasana 2. So now, again, your left foot goes back, right foot forward, pointing forward. Make sure you're finding stability here. Your knee should track the second toe. Your left foot should be completely planted and stable. So the outer edge of your left foot needs to be completely grounded. So no coming off there. It has to stay completely grounded. Keep your pelvis, if possible. So instead of my pelvis going forward, it's going to stay on the side. So I'm creating this warrior pose. Virabhadrasana 2 or warrior 2. Now again, continue to breathe in. Allow the energy to flow all the way through the spine, all the way down. Inhale, turn the right palm upwards. Exhale, reverse warrior. Here, don't collapse yourself. Keep yourself raised high up so you can feel the stretch on the right side. You can even look down at your left toe. Inhale, come back to warrior 2. Exhale, let's straighten out the right foot. So we're going to do a triangle. Bring your back foot a little forward because we want stability. Inhale, let's go a little forward. Exhale, triangle. So now in triangle, we are looking for stability. If this is not stable for you, then you can use either go on the floor, come up a little bit, find the stability. Or if someone of you has a block, if you don't, you can always buy, like this is like $5 or something block, and just use a block. Create the stability. Continue to inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, reverse triangle. Again, look for stability. Don't get wobbly. If you're getting wobbly, adjust yourself. You can even look down at your left toe. Your goal is to find your stability, your grounding. You can do it. I can do it. I am stable. That's the message you're giving to yourself. Inhale, come on back up. Let's turn your right toe forward. So both the toes are now facing forward. Don't make it so wide that you get unstable. Inhale, exhale, bend from your waist. You can take your hands down. You can take it forward. You can hold both your ankles. So wherever you're stable. Don't lock your knees. Let the energy flow from the knees too. So micro bend at the knees. If available, you can put your hands on the floor. Turn these tippy toes facing outward. And come on up. So now, this is the pose. So again, a grounding pose. Open yourself up. You are grounded. If the toes going too outward is unstable, bring it a little inward. But keep your knees open. Inhale, come on back up. Let's turn your right foot forward. Let's bring our left foot back to the front. And we will come back to the standing pose. Again, hip distance apart. So let's bring it to hip distance apart. Let's go back into Tadasana. That's our pose that is the most grounding of all. When we do Tadasana, or mountain pose, our pelvis should not be either jutting out or coming forward like this. It has to be tucked in and a straight. So we're tucking it in. We're not inhaling it in. We're just tucking it in. Tadasana. You can close your eyes here, find a little grounding. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Let's see if we can do all of the poses on the other side. So now, let's take a right foot back. Let's find the balance into a warrior two. Take your time to adjust. It doesn't have to be such a musical, flowy, dancey stuff where every time it's not a vinyasa flow we are doing. Those are, even the vinyasa is such a marketing thing. So you don't have to get the benefit of the yoga. So you are doing the yogasana to open up the energetic channels, your nadis. You don't need to do vinyasa for that, which is like one pose to another. Go like this, go like. You don't have to do that. You can hold, find your stability, find the grounding, and then get into the pose. So now, when you get into the pose, make sure your right foot is completely planted. It's not coming off the mat. Your left foot, your knee is tracking the second toe. It doesn't, make sure the knee is not going ahead of the ankle. If your shoulders are getting tired, you can always just relax your shoulders and put your palms up. Inhale, left palm facing up. Exhale, reverse warrior. Again, we are trying to reach up there at the diagonal. We're not trying to flop down. So up there, make that stretching happen on the left side, but at the same time, keep the right side elevated. We're not trying to collapse the right side. You can even look at the right toe or right foot. Inhale, come on back up. I'm not going to do the extended side angle because that can be wobbly at times. So we're not doing anything wobbly. Straighten your left knee. Now let's go forward. Inhale, exhale. Let's go down into Trikonasana or the triangle pose. Here, if you're wobbly, then get your little something that you have. Buy a block. I bought it on Amazon. Bring your right foot a little bit in if that helps you. Find the stability. Inhale through your nose. Allow the energy to go down towards the base of the spine and through the base into your feet. You can even look down towards the left foot. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, reverse triangle. Inhale, let's come back. Exhale, let's come to Tadasana. So let's find the Tadasana again. Pick up your toes, spread it out, roll your shoulders, and create that stability. Inhale through your nose, allow the energy to flow down, the breath to flow down, and exhale. From here, we are going to do Malasana. So let's take now our feet a little wider. We're going to make it, if you have a mat, you make it as wide as the mat. Your toes can be pointed a little bit at an angle. And now you're going to sit down. So basically, I'm just here. Big inhale. Exhale, I'm just going to sit down in Malasana. So this is that pose, which is with Indian party style. Now I'm trying to push both the knees out with my elbows, keeping the hands, and my back has to stay straight. So it has to stay straight. Now, if you can't do that, find a pillow. You can sit on it. You can keep it like this and sit on it to find the balance. You will still get, if you're unstable with the Malasana in that way, then it is better to find that any moment you're unstable, basically you're blocking the Nadi channels. So what's the point? So anytime you do yoga, you should not be struggling. If you're struggling, then you are not doing yourself any justice. You might as well not do yogasana. So allow your nadis to open. Continue to take deep breath in and out. With your next breath, let's go down and sit down on the mat. We are going to do a Sukhasana. So one of the other best poses beside Tadasana is Sukhasana. Sukhasana is nothing but the way we sit the Indian squatting style, where the left or the right foot is underneath, both the feet are underneath. We're just gonna put ourselves in the triangle, the Jnana Mudra, which is your index finger and your ring finger are going to touch each other. And here we're sitting in the Jnana Mudra. Now we're going to do something here while sitting in the Jnana Mudra. And what we're going to do is, you might have heard of Kegel exercises, but basically you're going to squeeze the muscle of your anus or perineum with each inhale. With each exhale, you're going to release it. So you can't, and nobody can see it, but you're going to squeeze the muscles of your anus and you're going to release it. So let's do that 5 times. Gradually squeeze the muscle of the anus, which is where your root chakra is, and release it. Again, squeeze the muscle of your anus and perineum and release it. Now, if you are tending to squeeze your abdominal muscle, you're not doing it right. So you only squeeze as if, the other way to think about it is if you were urinating and you had to hold your urine midstream, what would you do? You would squeeze the perineum. Or if you were wanting to go potty and you had to hold it, what would you do? Or you are going to pass gas, but you can't pass the gas because you're in a crowd, what would you do? You would squeeze the perineum or the anus, all the muscles there. So inhale and exhale. This is one of the exercises, one of the ways, Sukshma Yogasana for your root chakra or the Muladhara. Last time, inhale and squeeze the anus and perineum and exhale. So that is one of the Sukhasana, is considered one of the good poses for the sitting poses for root chakra. Then let's take the feet forward. You're sitting on your, where your lower chakra is. Push your heels back so they are in the socket. Keep your knees quite bent. So we are not going to try to flatten the foot. We're going to keep the knees quite bent. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, let's go down, hug underneath the knees. So your knees are now hugging the chest. Inhale, allow your breath to go all the way to the root chakra. And exhale. The reason you keep the knees bent, because then you otherwise will, block some energy there. So we'll just use this to open up the root chakra. And let's come on up. We are going to now do, actually we will do your bridge pose first, and then we will go into child pose. So let's lay back. I'm actually going to show you a bridge pose with the block. So let's go back and lay down. Now here also make sure your feet are hip distance apart. You can take the block and put it between the knees. What this does is, they are, no matter how much sometimes I tell people, they'll tend to take the knees apart when they raise their butt up. So I'm going to use this block and keep it squeezed between the knees. So then my knees, this is actually a very good knee strengthening exercise too. So here, this is one of the good ones for root chakra. So inhale and flatten your back. Exhale, raise your glutes off the mat. Keep your knees the same hip distance apart. Because I'm using a block, I don't have to worry about it. It will fall down if I take my knees apart. You can also take your shoulders underneath. Continue to breathe in through your nose. Gradually, one vertebra at a time. Let's come down. And let's give ourselves a big hug. Let's come up, sit up. Let's go into downward facing dog. Come up on your tippy toes. Again, keep your feet hip distance apart. Let's bring it down. Bend your knees quite a bit. Allow the energetic flow to happen. Continue to inhale through your nose and out through your nose. Raise your hips up as high as possible. With your next inhale, exhale, let's come down into child pose. With your toes, continue to inhale and feel your breath going all the way to your tailbone. Walk your arms to the right. And then let's bring it to the middle and walk it to the left. Continue to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Let's come back to the center. Let's sit up in Vajrasana. So in Vajrasana, you are going to basically be sitting on your heels. Your toes in the back are touching each other. Your heels are apart and you're just sitting on your heels. Let's take our hands on our thighs. You can just leave it flat open. You can do Jnana Mudra. And let's take a few breaths in and out. This is a good pose. Vajrasana is a good pose to do after you eat your meals. It helps, with digestion. It helps with starting the churning in your stomach. So it's anyway a good pose, but this is a good grounding pose. So inhale and exhale. Each time you inhale, feel the breath go all the way to the bottom of your tailbone. Some people have difficulty sitting like this. They can take a little blanket or something or a cushion and they can put it right on their heels and sit on that. Let's remove what we're doing and let's go into Shavasana. So we're not going to do Shavasana for too long, but we're just going to lay down there for a couple of minutes to allow yourself to ground yourself. So when you lay down in Shavasana, just see if you can relaxing every part of the body, allowing it to sink into the mat. Your hands are like 30 degrees away from your body. Your palms are facing up. Your feet are just plopped to the side. And when you take your breath in, allow your belly to come on up and the energy to flow all the way through the root chakra into your feet. In this pose, allow yourself to feel the energy throughout your body, in the front of the body, in the back of the body. Visualize the nadis in your pranamaya cushion. 72,000 nadis. Your next inhale, let's bend our knees, bring our feet flat on the mat. Let's roll over to one side and let's come up in the sitting position. I am going to come a little closer. So now we are going to, actually maybe I need to go a little further away. I'm just sitting. I like to have a little something in the back. You don't have to have that. So once we have done our yogasana, let's do some Shuddhi Kriya. So what is Shuddhi Kriya? These are cleansing breaths. So there are 6 Shuddhi Kriyas in yoga. But we are only going to do one today, which is Kapalabhati. So Kapalabhati creates that not just massages the physical organs, but it leads to that energetic movement, helps block and balance the lower chakras. So then we can put the hands on your thighs. You can, if you want to keep it like this, that's fine. And you'll basically be doing a pumping action, right? We're going to do a pumping action in your belly. You can do anywhere, you can do 20, 30, 40, it builds up gradually. So if you feel ungrounded, if you feel you need them, then you may want to build it gradually. Do today only as much as you can. Don't push yourself, your back may start bothering you. The idea is not to, if your back muscle gets spasm, guess what is happening? Your energy is getting blocked. So we don't want to block anything. We're only going to do as much as each one of us is comfortable. So I'm not going to have a number. You're going to do based on what you can do. I also don't do it too much. But, sometime anywhere between 50 and 100 I'll do. But it's so quick, some people do it for 5 minutes. We won't do it that long. So let's inhale and let's start pumping. Deep inhale and let it go. So this is Shuddhi Kriya. We'll do just one round of it today. This also helps unblock your lower chakras. And the next thing we do for the root chakra is pranayam, right? We have in yogasana, you have the yama, niyama, asana, then pranayam. So Shuddhi Kriya came in between, and now we do the pranayam. The pranayam that helps with root chakra is Anulom Vilom. So we are going to do 5 rounds only of Anulom Vilom. We can do, depending on how much you can. So Anulom Vilom or alternate nostril breathing is basically you're going to block your right nostril with your thumb. You're going to take the middle 2 fingers. Either you can keep it on your forehead or you can even curve it down. And the left nostril you're going to block with your ring finger and your middle finger. And first you're going to only block the right nostril. And then you're going to inhale through the left nostril. Then you're going to close the left nostril and hold the breath.
for as many counts right now as you can do. And then you're going to exhale to the right nostril. Again, after you exhale it, you will just hold for a few seconds, depending on what your practice is. Then you're going to inhale through the right, hold, and exhale. Those who have been doing it, we can do something what is called 4, inhale for 4, count of 4, hold, let's just hold for count. Normally, where you will end up is count of 4, then 16, hold for 16 and exhale for 8. But 16 might be too much hold right now. So you can always do 4 and then let's just hold for 8 and then exhale for 8. So inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then, inhale for 4, hold for 8, exhale for 8, and hold for 8. So 4, 8, 8, 8, 4, 8, 8, 8. So let's try that 5 times. You can keep your fingers down. Let's start from our left nostril. So that was my alarm for 7:55 because we have to start the next segment. But so the root chakra, Anulom Vilom, as you are inhaling and exhaling, I forgot to tell you that when you're inhaling, you're going to allow your breath to go all the way to the root chakra. So you're going to feel the breath going down and coming back up. So the other, once you do with the pranayam, then what is it? Then pratyahara, and pratyahara, which means withdrawal of the senses, then dharana, which means focus, and then samadhi, so meditation. So what is the meditation for the root chakra? So the meditation, the Bij mantra. Mantra is a very powerful sound meditation for creating that yoga, the connection. So mantra is not to be taken lightly. It is not that mantra are just some ancient thing and don't have any meaning. But mind, man means mind and tra means liberate. So to liberate the mind, the sound that we create has a very powerful effect. So the Bij mantra for the root Muladhara Chakra is Lam. So the Muladhara Chakra is shown as a 4-petal. Red is the color for the root chakra, for the Muladhara Chakra. And the Bij mantra is Lam. So we are going to do just maybe, since we don't have as much time today, so we will do for a couple minutes the Bij mantra, Lam. You're going to say it out loud with me. So you're just going to chant Lam. Later on, you can continue to do Lam if you're on your own, like sometimes, if you're feeling ungrounded, or you have been, and actually the Indian community or any immigrant community that comes to US, you are ungrounding yourself to begin with. You have displaced yourself, and in the displacement, ungrounding is the first thing. And the way, what are you doing by interacting with others like yourself? You're trying to ground yourself, right? So root chakra meditations and root chakra work is very important for first generation immigrants anyway. So let's do the Lam meditation. I will show you how it's done. Sometimes I will do it for 10 minutes on my own. When I meditate in the morning. So different days, depending on when you know all different kind of meditation, then you can pick and choose what you want to do any particular day. If you're feeling your root chakra needs some grounding, then you can do Lam meditation. So let's just sit again in Jnana Mudra, and then you can close your eyes. Take an inhale. Lam. 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 So you can continue this kind of meditation anytime. The other time, we are now up with the time, but the other thing you could do is another walking meditation. So you can walk out in the nature. You can actually walk bare feet on the grass, and that is also a walking meditation that you can do. You can also have, it's called forest bathing, or that means you can go out in the nature, because today one of the big disorders is called the nature deficit disorder. So where we are not exposing ourselves to nature, and if you are not exposing yourself to nature at all, chances of you being grounded are very less. So your nature is very grounded, and for you to be grounded, you need forest bathing. So go out to the park, walk bare feet. So one of the new practices that I have started is I've given up on my shoes. I walk every day. Right after this class, I'm going to go for a walk. I do moon, there is that Atapaseva, which is sun on Chandra Seva, which is like moon. So I walk at nighttime. It's good for Pitta dosha. So when I walk outside, I walk bare feet in my neighborhood. Or when I go to the park, I just walk bare feet. Bare feet walking is very normal thing in all kind of developing countries. It is kind of a interesting phenomena that has come in the West. US has got many bare feet walking groups. There is a bare feet walking group in Ohio too, where they walk bare feet on multiple trails. It's much more common in Europe, bare feet walking. So your feet actually is designed to walk bare feet, and then we buy these expensive shoes which can match the arch of our foot, but nothing can match bare feet, and nothing can be more grounding than walking bare feet on the road. So I have found that is perfect. I walk bare feet. I have my little 2-pound weight in my hands, and for 30 minutes, it's you actually are very conscious, and you're putting your feet. You can get little stones, pebbles in there. You can get little things, but you really are in touch with earth. So nothing like being in touch with earth. So that is one thing. The other aspect is the color you can wear if you're feeling ungrounded. Red is the color of root chakra. So you can wear, now when we say red, not like those shiny bright red, but that's why I wore red today. So earthy red is what? So earth, you're grounding yourself, you're earthing yourself. And so wearing red color, eating red vegetables, eating root vegetables, sweet potatoes, and other root vegetables is very good if you're feeling ungrounded. Ghee is very good for grounding yourself. So if you are not feeling grounded, add some ghee to your diet. Applying oil massage at the base of your feet and putting your feet in Epsom salt is very grounding. So we feel good also about that, but that's another grounding, root chakra grounding practices. So if you're feeling, nobody is going to be grounded and then forever grounded, right? We are in a dynamic world. So there are days when you're going to get ungrounded. And if you get ungrounded, then you do various practices to ground yourself. But add yogasan and shuddhi kriya and pranayam and meditation to your daily practice so you can stay more grounded as you move around in this material world. So that's all for today. And with that, we shall begin Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Let me change the view, and I just need a cup of water. So any questions on Muldhara Chakra or root chakra? So next time we will do then the Swadhisthana Chakra. So if a person is more on, has
A lot of times we go through life without really balancing our root chakra, and you're living your mediocre life, doesn't matter. But if you're wanting to do something creative, something entrepreneurship, something more, then grounding the root chakra is a very wise thing to do, so that whatever change you make or whatever big growth you want to do, you don't otherwise you tend to self-sabotage yourself. You go 10 steps ahead, then you pull back yourself because you're not grounded. And then you start looking for other people to ground you. So that's the thing. Okay, let's come to Bhagavad Gita. One of the questions before we begin is Nalin had asked about Sankhya Yoga and Jnana Yoga, if there is a difference and what is the difference. We won't address this fully, but actually I'm just going to address a little bit, because the second chapter is labeled as Sankhya Yoga. And the fourth chapter is actually not labeled just as Jnana Yoga. The fourth chapter is actually labeled as Jnana Karma and Sannyasa Yoga. So then what is the difference? Sankhya Yoga is the second chapter there where he talked about the Atman and the whole philosophy. So Sankhya Yoga is sometimes interchangeably and rightfully so used as Jnana Yoga. So some people will say Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga means one and the same thing, and it pretty much does. Sankhya Yoga is specifically talking about the Atman and then coming from the root of the Sankhya philosophy. So there are Shaddarshan, there is 6 Hindu philosophies, 6 Vedic philosophies. There is Sankhya philosophy, Yoga philosophy, Mimamsa, the Vedanta. So, and then there is Vaisheshika. And among that, Sankhya philosophy is talking about the Purusha, the Prakriti, then the universal intelligence, and then the Ahankara, and then the Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And so there is a whole philosophy. So in that, Sankhya Yoga is in a way taking you through, it is talking about reversing that. So we, as coming into being with all your manas and all your indriyas and karmendriya and the jnanendriya and all that, and how to go backwards into the through your Atman, through the Mahat, which is the universal intelligence, into the Purush, Prakriti and Purusha. So how to go back? So Sankhya Yoga is really, at the end of the day, Jnana Yoga, because it is talking about everything that is to do with knowledge. So when we talk about Sankhya Yoga, you right away know he's talking about Atman. Jnana Yoga also, at the end of the root of it, we are saying we are Atman. So, but the way he has separated, we will talk about how in the 4th chapter, what does he refer to? And he really comes back to the source is Atman. But Sankhya Yoga, as a whole, you just know that, okay, this is where it's going. When it is saying Jnana Yoga, it could be somebody in Jnana Yoga could be following Mimamsa philosophy, somebody Vaisheshika. So it can be different other philosophies. So that was just in brief, I wanted to answer that question. And now we can progress to chapter 3, verse 17. And who wants to read it? Yeah, Sangeeta, you're reading it?
Yeah. Whoever delights in the self, Atma, finds satisfaction in the self and is centered in the self, surely has no further duties.
Yeah. So yes, he is not given too much explanation. It's a nice verse. And it talks about different stages. Yahatu atmaratihe eva syat. So first word he uses atmarati. Ya means who. So the verse before that, the 16th verse, in the 16th verse, he was talking about that the person who indriya aramaha, who takes delight in the senses, he lives a life of vain, right?
So somebody who lives a life with this chakra that he's talking about, yagna, is taking place, but person, instead of following that path, instead lives in indriya delight all the time, is really wasting his human life. That is what. But here then he says, but, tu means but. The one who takes delight, atma rati, rati means delight. So one who takes delight in that self or rejoices in the self. And then there is another word here used, atma tripta, means one who is tripta. You know, we have the Hindi word tripta, completely satiated or satisfied in the self. And then it's cha manava. Cha means and, then manava means human being. And the third word he uses, atmani evacha santushta. Cha means and ev always means certainly. Atmani, in the self, santushta means completely happy, completely centered, completely deeply contented. Tasya, his, karyam na vidyate, there is, karyam means any kind of duty or activity, na means not, vidyate means exists. So that human being, so he's talking instead of the sense rejoicing, if this human being, but another kind of human being that rejoices or takes delight in the self, is satiated in the self, and then is centered in the self, for him, no duty exists. So for him, no work exists. So what is this? We are doing karma yoga, so no work exists. So what does that mean? So first, let's decipher how is he talking about. There's two different things. So one, he's talking about identification. Let's talk about here. So Atma Rati. So first is this person, he is, instead of Indriya Aramaha or Indriya Rati, he is Atma Rati. He is taking delight in the self. So I like to draw it as, if this was a garden, I don't know if anybody has been in Delhi to Garden of Five Senses. There is a Garden of Five Senses. Imagine, this is all about the senses. So it is, life is usually a garden of senses, right? We had a high school reunion in the Garden of Five Senses. So this is a human being he talked about in the last verse, who is in the garden of senses. What is he having? He's taking a lot of delight in this garden, right? Everything is delightful. We are enjoying life. We are very happy. What are you talking about? And then there is another person who is in the garden of self. So now this person is taking delight in the garden of senses. The other way, in a fun way, I like to say, one is a garden of self and one is a garden of selfie, right? So this is the garden of selfie. Okay, anybody who's busy posing for selfie is really in the garden of senses, enjoying. Now this person, Atma Rati. Now this person is busy, right? He is. They have got delight also there. Now this person is doing delight here. What does the delight in self mean? He has experienced, he or she has experienced a certain self delight. It is kind of a feeling which, somebody who's in garden of senses, what are you talking about? You are not eating, even as simple as a person who's non-vegetarian will say to a vegetarian, what? You don't even eat meat? What kind of life do you have? Right? We hear that all the time. Or somebody who is into vegetarian, one will say to them, what? You don't have this. I mean, yeah, it's okay. Have this dessert, have this. What? You eat khichdi? So garden of senses, right? So we are all in this garden of senses in various, what? You don't go out to watch Bollywood movie? What? You must have, like I like to say, somebody who is from garden of senses,
one of the common things, I tend to say, I don't have a life. What I mean to say is I'm not in your garden of senses. They think I don't have a life. But actually, once you have the person who's got Atmarati, this garden of senses right now, no more needed. Now, why? Let's break it down. So one is having delight here, and one is having delight there. Now, what happens is you can have delight in this, but you may not be stable in this. You may have feeling, oh yeah, I feel good, I really feel, when I do my meditation, I feel good. I did meditation for 5 days, and like the 6th day, something, relative came or something happened, and you went on a big cruise. The meditation went away, the delight. It's so easy, right? Senses attract us all the time. So just because somebody's Atma Rati, it's a first stage. It doesn't make you stable in here. It just makes you initially, you feel good, right? When I first did Art of Living, they said, do it for 21 days. I did it for 21 days. And then the 22nd day, we flew to India and I gave up, right? So then those 21 days, I used to remember as this beautiful and heavenly feeling. I didn't know what had changed, but I felt like that something was missing after, like once a year passed, I felt those 21 days were really beautiful. So what happens when you initially start Atmarati? So he's talking about a person who in the first stage has Atmarati, but he's still unstable. He still can go into this any day, anytime. Second is Atma Trupti. That means satiation. So now this one garden of senses. What does the garden of senses person do? I've drawn for myself. This garden of senses person does this. Garden of senses person goes to a garden of senses or garden of selfies. I have to add that only because these days it is pretty synonymous. So this person gets say for example, the person, the husband gives wife a diamond earrings. What happened? She's a garden of senses, right? What does first thing she feel? She felt delight. Oh my God, thank you so much. She felt delight. So she got Indriya Rati. What happened with that? Then next phase happened for her. Indriya Trupti. Now she's satiate. Now she, goes for a few days, there is complete satisfaction. I don't want anything anymore. I've been wanting this 2 carat or 5 carat something. I've been wanting it for last so many years. Finally got it. So she gets the Trupti. So she also gets satiated. There is nothing wrong. This one also got satiated. This one also got satiated. This one learned that once she gets delight in the Atman, then gradually starts feeling a kind of satisfaction in there. Now suddenly there is don't need, may say, I don't know, I don't feel the need. I do have the diamond that's sitting in my locker. I've just, I somehow don't even think of wearing it. The same woman may one day be Atma Trupti. So here it is Atma Indriya Trupti. Then the third stage happens, which is here he talks about as Atma Santushta. So Atmani Santushta. Here this person gets Indriya, is completely happy. So now this Indriya is completely Santusht or completely content. And this one, he is also talking that he is completely content. Now this stage for a lot of us takes a lot of time. So what happens is when it is a delight in the self, we can get a delight. We tend to, we have constantly one boat, one garden to other garden. You can see yourself jumping. You may feel trupti also, but if you're not centered completely, so this santushta means now you are completely centered in it. Now what happens, this person of course also got Indriya completely centered. The diamond earring came. What is going to happen after this? This person, after Indriya Arama, the Indriya Trupti, Indriya Santushta, then the person, few days, few months, 1 year, it will come a time. It won't be now for next yearing. It could be for a vacation. Now I need a vacation. So what happens? Again, a new yearning starts. New longing starts. Life it goes from one longing to the next. Now a new longing starts. You saw garden of selfies. So now somebody on Facebook posted pictures from Eiffel Tower. So suddenly you saw the picture. You didn't mean to see it. You didn't know anything, but you saw. You liked it. And now next thing you know,
I want to.
yeah, I want to. A longing started. Yeah. This longing that started now makes you again unhappy. So it is back to where you are misery. What will you do when you have misery? You will again work for it. So now you have to fulfill the next Indriya. So for this, again, Indriya Rama, if you are suppose you are the man who is into, all of us are, right? Men and women. So different way we will react. The husband got happy that, okay, my wife got happy. Now the husband also into traveling. Now because he's into longing of the travel, he's going to work now extra hard. He has to make some money. He has to, budget itself now for the trip that has to come. So next 6 months are going in budgeting. Now all that hard work, things he doesn't want to do, ethically, unethically, sales he doesn't want to do, he will do, butter his boss whom he shouldn't be buttering. Whatever he needs to do, he will do karma. He will do karma. If the cycle of karma continues, now he will get that so that he can fulfill his, either himself, his wife, or his kids, or whoever is asking. And next thing you know, he's back into the cycle for next delight. So karma is completely unavoidable in a garden of senses. This is called bondage. This is nothing. What are you bonding yourself to? You're bonding yourself because your indriya have bound you. Nobody else has bound you. So now the wife, on the other hand, who is got this, if she is suppose a homemaker, now she wants to go to the Eiffel Tower. Now she has to work on her husband for next few months, make him suffer different things, figure out what she can say, figure out how she can convince him to go. Everything, what she's doing inside, the work is happening just so she can get that delight for 5 days or 7 days or maybe even 3 days in Eiffel Tower. Again, there will be delight, beautiful vacation. If it, most people don't even have that because there can be a fight right there. But the satisfaction will come. I went there, right? That the individual will be satisfied. Again, they will have trupti. Aha, this was perfect. And then again, they will feel santusht. And again, next yearning will start. Now they want something else. Now it could be, my mother hasn't visited US for so long. And now I want my mother to visit. My mother welcome. People are, so these yearnings, garden of senses doesn't mean just things. It could be relationships. It could be that you got your diamond and now you're like, I have not been on a vacation with my teenage college or 20 something kids for like 5 years. We want a vacation together. Now that could be a yearning. You can have a yearning of relationship, things and situations. You don't have to, next thing you know, you think the cycle goes on. Now my child has to get married. Your friend's daughter got married. Oh, now the yearning begins. When will my daughter get married? So this cycle of garden of senses, for everyone who is going to see a garden of senses, work is inevitable. Bondage of work is inevitable. The work will not be done for the joy of work. It will be done for the fulfilling of the next indriya.
So this life becomes then a life of vain. The cycle continues. Person starts getting old and gets tired of the cycle, but don't know how to get out of it. Krishna is giving you a very easy solution. You start finding first Atmarati. Figure out. Even coming to the Gita class is Atmarati. Something you feel good. Something you go some satsang, you feel good. That is Atmarati. Your Atma feels, you feel delight in something that is deeper within you. Then you find Atma Trupti. Then you start finding more and more time you spend in it, more and more you start finding satisfaction. You're like, oh, all that external pull that is happening is only binding me. It's useless. It's not that you won't wear good clothes. It's not like you will give up diamonds, but it will not be the source of joy and satisfaction. You will still, if you go to any kind of event, you will dress appropriately. You're not going to wear this, people do that, but you don't have to like, okay, now that I am Atma Trupti, now I have to wear simple clothes and I don't have to wear a necklace and I can't wear makeup. That's artificial. That's if you are doing all of that, you really are still thinking of Annamaya Kosh, nothing else. You are really not going deeper than. You're trying to do a show of Atmarati or Atmatra. It is coming inside. So you can see plenty of people in any kind of spiritual organization who are playing as much politics. Everything external they have given up. So they are not having Atmarati they experience. Their Guruji comes and they do some songs or they do some meditation together. They all are really there because they are experiencing something, but they're not stabilizing there. Guruji leaves town, they go back to that garden of senses. Even the Guruji comes, they fight whose house the Guruji is going to stay. So they're operating from garden of senses and trying to get Atmarati. They will get in that immediate. So Krishna is talking about Atmarati, then stabilizing yourself there in Atma Trupti. So then you find kind of satisfaction there. And then eventually finding that Santushta, complete joy in there. Now, once that happens, once you are stabilized, once this self is stabilized in the garden of, what do you think happens then? What happens then is, it's not like you are not going to go to work. You still have to go and earn money. You will go and earn money. You will go and do your job. You will, every dharma, every karma yoga you will be doing. But you will not, you're stabilized here and you can work in the material field as much as you want. You also know that people around you at work are all living in garden of senses. It is not going to destabilize you. If you're getting destabilized, then we know we have work to do. So all of us may have times when we will, even if you are here, you may jump there, but if you are aware of this, then you are going to naturally bring yourself back. Now, what does he mean? That tasya karyam na vidyate. So for that person, work doesn't exist because it is no more work for that person. Work is done to achieve something. This person is not doing work to achieve anything. He or she is just doing whatever has been given to them in the moment to the best of their ability. They are not going after, I have to do this so I can get that. That connection is lost. So Karma Yoga, they're truly now able to operate. They're situated in their happiness. In the core, they're happy. Now they can do whatever they want to do with complete peace. So now they will have, like, for example, let's, if we were, no, let's not, I know Tanuja is writing something, so I won't erase it. But this person will, let's say, for them, work is
there are three aspects. If we look at Karma Yoga, then the person has given up the action, number one. So if I'm doing an action, first thing, this person is completely situated, so has given up the action. Mean this action that is happening, this person who is Atma Santushta knows that this action is also being, they are just a vessel. The action is being done. Result they are not concerned with because the result is in the material world. They already are happy, so what are they concerned about? If they're not working to go on a vacation, they're not working for the diamond, they're not working to go get any recognition, they are working because this is what they need to do. So the first aspect, they give up the action. Second aspect, they give up the result of the action. And the third action, they also give up the doership. So they are no more the doer of the action. They are, the thing is just happening. So they have given up. So when I am not doing it, I am just the vehicle through which things are happening. So this person can, only this person who is in garden of self will be able to do this. So then is work a work? Then is tiredness does ever come? 9 to 5 job, then you become tired. You're getting tired because you're operating here. If you are Atma Santushta, you're not going to get tired because none of the Indriya, you are not going to work to satisfy any of the Indriya at the job or after the job. You're not at the job, you're not looking for expectations. You're not looking for anybody to give you praise, to say nice things about you. You're not going for, you will get it, that's different, but you're not going there for that. And you're not even going there to earn the money which will fulfill one of your other indriyas. Money will come because that's what will come, but it is, as they talk about, for the cycle it will come. It is that yagna. So yagna will create the conducive environment, which is the rain, which will bring the food, which is the money, which you will use majority of it in service to something. You won't go, you will still live in a good home and you will still eat good food. You can all that, but you will not be anymore doing too much to, you still even can take vacation. It's not like you, but you're not working. That is not the bondage. It just happens. People just, those things happen. Whatever comes, even in vacation, you will fulfill your dharma. If you went on vacation, my sister in Dubai, she's planning, all the 4 sisters and all the kids should go together on a vacation. She's the planner. So she's going to take care of all the details. What is my dharma there? To make sure that I continue in that few days to create, first of all, the long vision, right? This has not happened ever. 4 sisters getting together is so hard. And all the kids getting together, God knows if it will materialize. But if it does, to even realize that how rare this is, to stay in the moment, aware that this is a time to just give, to stay in the spirit of yajna with my attitude and the actions. Everybody will have fun. You may be going to a site, but in the process of giving, you continuously remain in the attitude of giving. And it creates a conducive environment, which is the rain, which will feed each one of them, which will be each soul. And that cycle continues. People will come back and they say, oh my God, we had such a good time. But it is because we all become conscious. But this can only happen if we are Atma Santushta. Suppose I'm not Atma Santushta, then I'm also a slave bondage. Now we all go on a vacation. I want to see this side and she wants to see that side. Third sister wants to see that side. Now we are arguing. What should we see? Agenda is this much. One kid is 20 years old, one kid is 5 years old. How do you start really do it? One is, different culture also within the family. Somebody is vegetarian, somebody is not even a vegetarian anymore. No, we were all born and we all were non-vegetarian. Now some have become vegetarian, some are not. Can you imagine the issues that can crop up? If we are Indriya, we are operating, 4 sisters can create a chaos there, even though we are all in our 40s and older. But if we all operate here, or even one of you operates from here, that's all it takes. 1%. This whole
vacation can become good. All it
You are
takes.
there.
Yeah, go ahead.
You are there.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Garden of self.
Right. So what I'm saying is, for like Tanuja one time had a question, like what are people around you? When everybody is like that, then how can you stay centered? Yes, this is what you are, Atmarati. You may be Atmatrupti, but may not have found that Santushta. And when you have not found complete Santushta, then when you're everybody is doing, they are not listening because they are in this, then you are getting, and it's okay. It's a journey where I get derailed, and then yeah, aha. So because this is a completely a bondage stage. So people who are here are so much enjoying the bondage that they're not aware of it. You can't even tell them they are in bondage. If you tell, they will say, they will be stressed, anxiety. What are the features of garden of senses? And repeated anxieties, repeated fears, repeated, basically future fears, future anxieties, past regrets. These are all problems of the garden of senses. They're living with that and they've normalized it. So this is life is hard, it has to happen. So they're here. And then you start experiencing this and you're like, okay, maybe I can have challenges in life, but I can be stabilized here. Challenges will come. You will have health issues, you can have an accident, your kids can have something, you can have relationships, all that can come. Different people can show up in your life who are not centered. The challenges will come, but you are here. And every time you get pulled, Eckhart Tolle talks about, the stage that, you stay an audience and don't run on the stage and create the stage. This is exactly what, in a different way, he's saying. And this is what Krishna is talking about. So the other way to also, how do we Atma Trupti, how do we do that? Making sure, yeah. The reason why do we do that again and again? Because we, the I, when I say I mean me, the deeper me, the Atma, the consciousness within. So if this is the I, so we know that we are a 4 body structure, we have 4 aspects, right, to us. There is the body, there is the mind, and the senses. Body, mind, senses, and the soul, the self. These are the 4. Right now, what is happening? These 3, body has yearnings or longings. I want to always stay healthy. I don't want to have pain. I want to have, first of all, like I always say, crying. If you're born, you're going to cry. So don't worry about it. Your kids are also, if they're born, they're going to cry. If you don't want your kids to cry, don't have kids. Same way I will say, if you're born, you're going to have pain. It's part of life. Your body will have pain. Your kid's body will have pain. Physical body I'm talking about. Pain is part of it. So we have want our bodies to be perfect. Perfect weight, no pain, So all that, right? These are the body. Body always has longings. Mind always has longings. It's not like mind can ever be without longings. Mind will always have longings. Senses, of course, they are the horses. Senses always has longings. What happens is this I has identified itself with the body. So it is I thinks I am the body, I thinks I am the mind. Like Arman says, my son Arman, he'll say, I am what I think. Basically, he's saying, I'm the mind. I'm so smart. I'm the mind. So he is the mind. Somebody who's busy, doing even yogasana for the body only, they are thinking they're the body. Somebody is completely engaged. They don't care, I don't care, anything. I just eat and be merry. Basically, they are identified with their senses. I'm not into all this weight stuff.
right? I am into senses. So because I have identified, the soul, has become identified with the body, mind, and senses. I am constantly having a longing. So I am longing. I want this. I am hurting. I want a vacation. I want peace. Basically, I want everything. So basically, I start everywhere because there is body, mind, and senses are yearning. So I am yearning. This is the sentence we are always saying. I am longing for this thing. I'm longing for companionship. I'm longing for my children to visit me. I am longing to visit India. I haven't for like 2 years. No, I'm longing to go back to India. People say different things. So they're always longing. But the longing is coming because they have misidentified body, mind, and now. What Krishna is talking about is to find this Atma Trupti in the I. So here, what Krishna is saying, this I will become Atma Trupta, Atma Santushta. You will still have body, mind, and senses. They will still have yearnings. But you will not be identified with it. So what will be the difference? If you're truly not identified with it, you will say, my mind is feeling disturbed today. I am not disturbed. My mind is a little unstable today. I have to do a little more, pranayam maybe. Maybe I need to sit, do a little bit of yogasana today. Maybe I need to go for a nature walk today. Otherwise, you're going to say, I am disturbed and my husband is responsible, my mother-in-law is responsible, my kids are responsible, my friend is responsible, my colleague is responsible. But if you can say, my mind is unstable, I woke up today and my mind has been a little off today. Then you are separate from, now what can I do to stabilize my mind? You accept that mind will have up and down. So then you do different. Art of living does what? It does this exactly. It stabilizes your mind. Sudarshan Kriya does first thing, stabilize the mind. So I always recommend, even though, I'm not art of living teacher, I don't get any, but the reason I say that because I got such a benefit from it. It is a good, easy, I think, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar has done one good thing, I felt, that at least discovered something really like a, what is that called? The Idiot's Guide to Have a Stable Mind. That's how good it is. Like, 101, everything has a one. It's such an easy guide. You don't have to use your head. Just do Sudarshan Kriya. You will get a stable mind. It's that good. So everybody, the reason I say Sudarshan Kriya, I haven't tried many other things, but Sudarshan Kriya I say because it's so simple. He's given a formula. Do a simple formula. Now, because if you sit down to do, I tell you to do Anulom Vilom, how many of you do it? Do it daily, but you don't do it. He's given a simple formula, this long, this way, 20 minutes you do it. You can say my mind gets stable. So when I said 21 days I did, what happened? My mind got stable. So I felt good. So that whenever I feel anybody around me, my friends, they'll call me, I tell them, do that Art of Living course. Nobody has so far listened to me and done it. But I find that if they do it, even now, because I do different kind of meditations. So if I find like, okay, I'm going, work is getting too hectic, start doing Sudarshan Kriya. I mean, I'll do Sudarshan Kriya for 1 month and then it's back to, or even 5 days, 2 days. And then I can do it, because my instability, because this realization is much deeper now. So, I can get stable quicker. Then if that is the mind stable. If my senses, if I'm not identified with the senses, then I can say, today I feel like eating jalebi, for example.
but I'm not going, if I don't get jalebi, I'm not going to have any kind of disturbance. Yeah, let's eat. I know it is coming from my senses. I've not eaten it, you know. Kavita made or some beautiful dish, or Sangeeta made some dish and I go over. I'm going to enjoy it. But the happiness is not attached to it. I'm not going to go and say, okay, now I have to, because I realize this has got nothing, senses got fulfilled that way. My taste bud, very nice, felt good. Enjoy it and then let it go. It is not the source of happiness. Same thing with the body. Body can be in pain. Body can even have cancer. Ramakrishna, when he had cancer, he was still Atma Santushta. He died with throat cancer. So many of the, ultimately at the end of the day, all of us will die from one reason or the other, no matter how good you eat or no matter what you do. There are few reasons you will die of. Either you will get a disease or you will have an accident. Something has to happen. So if the disease happens, so cancer is one of them. These days you don't have to do anything. The environment is such you will get cancer. So your body gets cancer. So how are you doing? You would always say, I'm doing good. Oh yeah, the throat is having some pain. Throat is having pain, cannot eat, but I'm doing good. This is the realization that I is independent. So this is when Atma, Rati, Atma Trupti, Atma Santushta. Now he can function in the world where no work is work. He's not, this verse is sometimes misunderstood, where people think, oh, now no work needs to be done. So now I can take sannyas. No. Krishna is telling this to Arjun before the fight. He's telling him to stabilize, and then that action will no more be the action because it will come from a different intention. Okay. Let's go to the next verse. Sangeeta, you want to read it?
Then at last, there is nothing to get by doing something, action, nothing to lose by doing nothing, inaction, and no dependencies on anyone for anything.
Yeah. So I will just draw one. So basically, by nothing to gain, it's very clear verse. Na eva tasya krutena artha. Nothing certainly for him to gain. Artha means gain. By kruten, by action. And na kruten, by inaction also. Here in this world, what kashchana, whatsoever, at all, nothing at all. Cha means and, na cha means never, and never. Because in Sanskrit, they go backward, forward. Asya sarva bhuteshu, of that person, among all being, kaschit means from anyone, artha vyapashya. So no dependency for any kind of gain or any kind of necessity. So it is like saying, and we can finish this. So because we did Anulom Vilom, so I hope you guys are all there. So I'm not going to do Anulom Vilom, just I'll finish this one. So now imagine this is a person, and this person is sitting in garden of self. So once this person is sitting in garden of self, so imagine yourself, you're sitting in this complete Atma Trupti, Atma Santushta. Now the world around you is going on, right? This is the world. You have to live in this world. Arjun is also going to live in this world. In this world, how is this person going to live? He's going to do work in the service of what? Yagna. Action will happen. There's no dependency. Whatever he's going to do, whether it's in terms of, I'm talking about action in terms of service, action in the spirit of yagna or service or whatever, he's doing an action, but there is no attachment to results or no attachment to the situation, no attachment to self. He's doing this action, but there is no expectation. I wrote a couple more words, yeah. And then he's doing this action. Action is happening, but he in a complete state of stability. You can add whatever you want to add. Basically, the action is happening around him. He is doing the action, but he is completely stable. He's operating from this state of complete Atma Trupti. For such a person, there is nothing anymore to gain. What are you going to give this person? If you praise the person, what are you going to give him? If you throw stones at this person, what are you going to this person to lose? The person has nothing to lose, nothing to gain, and no dependency on anybody, because dependency comes from the garden of senses. It does not come in the garden of self. So that is what this verse ultimately means, that if you are Atma Santushta, you can function in this world with complete liberation. You are completely independent of this kind of expectation, and you're not dependent on anybody for anything. And you're doing all the action without any gain. Doing the action has no gain. Not doing the action also has no gain or no loss. Nothing to gain or loss, because the person has already gained whatever they were forever. So this is the second verse was really a continuation of the first verse. And I think I might have had some other thoughts. Let me see. Yeah, so so then just one more way of why are you constantly not able to stabilize yourself if you are this I, and you know today, and you have known for some time that you are the body, mind, and you are the senses, and you know that you are not these, but then why do you keep getting attached to them? The reason is the Sankhya Yoga, is that this I has a yearning also. This I's yearning is to unite with the big I. Yoga, the ultimate samadhi. This I will never, its yearning will never be fulfilled in this direction. Its yearning will only be fulfilled in that direction. So when we say, why are we, if we are so smart, if we know this in theory, why can we do it? Because we are not connecting to the big I. We are not becoming one with the one. And you can call it universe, or you can make an individual God. You can say Krishna. If you're completely united and seated in Krishna, where Krishna is in you and you are in Krishna, guess what? You are not here. Yearning of I is always for the ultimate union. Because it is not able to do that, it tries to connect through this to fulfill some yearning. But it will never find it. Its ultimate Atma Santushta is only. So it is like this. A very good example is an ocean, and there is a tree, and this tree has this, through the leaf, a droplet of water on it. This water droplet that has to drop into the ocean, this water droplet resists it, doesn't want to drop. It hangs by that leaf. It just is hanging there, but it won't let itself go. And what happens then? Ultimately, it loses all, it gives up its resistance and merges into the water. What happens into the ocean? What happens when that drop merges into the ocean? It becomes the ocean. We are like that drop. We are resisting that merge. But the moment you will merge, you will become the ocean. Then where is the question of identification? You will still function through the body. You will still use your brain. You will still eat through your mouth and all your senses will still be active. You'll still watch something, you will still hear, but you will be the ocean. That is the ultimate thing that we are trying to, that is the yearning. To go back home, other way of saying it, to go back home. The home is not going to be in body, mind, and senses. Get it? So that's it. We are at 8:50. Oh my God, we did it. So then we actually have a little bit of time to do. One last line I wrote, so I do want to say that line. Misery. If you have misery even for 1 second, misery only comes from body, mind, and senses. And happiness only comes from Atmarati, Atma, the ultimate happiness. So if you tomorrow wake up for some reason, you become unhappy or miserable or unstable, examine yourself. Life is about self-examination. Contemplate. The day you'll be unhappy, you may not be able to contemplate because you are right away blaming somebody else, right? You're miserable, we are right away blaming something or something. But then when you contain yourself, come back to your center, and find out misery only comes from these three. It does not come from your Atman. So it's only good for us to follow what Krishna is saying. So let's do some, does anybody have any questions? If not, let's do Anulom Vilom, yeah, since we do have 3 minutes. So do we want to, we've been doing count of 8. If we want to start count of 9. No, we've been doing count of 7, right? Kavita? Yeah. Okay, then let's do count of 8. Well, I've been doing count of 8, so I forget because, so let's do count of 8 from today. Now, those who have started late can do less count, whatever you've been doing. But those who have started before, from the beginning, you can do inhale count of 8, hold count of 8, exhale count of 8, and hold count of 8. 5 times. Let's do it, and let's end there. Mute your phone so we don't. I think Sangeeta, yours is on, so if you can mute yourself too.
So this is it for today. We have this, we started Sehat Baatein Nahi Purani on Bharat FM on alternate Sundays. The first session happened 2 Sundays ago. This is a session that I and Dr. Deepak Acharya, he's a specialist and he's a scientist and also Indian herbal traditional medicine, herbs. Traditional herbs. He's an expert on that. He's lived in the Indian tribes and actually has collected all the information from there. So he talks on that. This is this coming Sunday again from 8 to 9 a.m. on Sunday. So those who would like to, this time we're going to talk about, last was an introductory one. So watch that. It was very informative. He gave a lot of good things, talked about a lot of good things. And so we try to combine allopathy and the herbal in that. And this one is going to be about acidity, indigestion, heartburn, and constipation. So what can we do? What does allopathy have to offer? And what do our herbs and Indian herbs can offer? So we're going to be talking about that. So it's in Hindi, and it is, the whole thing will be in Hindi.
Herbs.
Huh?
Where do we get the herbs afterwards?
Well, most of the are from your kitchen, so you will be able to procure most of it right in your kitchen. So there are certain herbs that are, of course, when he's talking about herbs, certain plants that might be not available in US, but a lot of them, what he's talking about are formulations right here in the kitchen. So you can get that. And that's one thing. And then the other is bare feet walking. If anybody is interested, let me know. So we can do some bare feet walking group. Third thing is, if anybody on Bharat FM, oh, we have one volunteer, Kavita. So fine, we will connect and figure out a time, bare feet walking. And then
Where are you walking?
well, we will, if you are doing, so far I've been either walking in the neighborhood or there's a park nearby. So if there are other people, then we'll figure out a common park where we can meet up, or maybe do different parks. If, you know, one time it's closer to one person, the other time closer to the other person. And then the other thing I was going to talk about is anybody on Bharat FM who wants to join me on the Zoom so that you can even ask questions live. You can send me a Facebook message and I can send you then a Zoom link. Otherwise, Facebook Live, you can always watch and rewatch. Okay, with that, namaste to everyone. And see you next Thursday for Swadhisthana Chakra, meditation and yogasana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anisha. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye, Nidhi.
Bye.
It's still recording live.